Hello everyone, this is Lolcohol, and in this video I am going to be doing a build update for the Exsanguinate Trickster. I've now completed Sirus 7 with this build. I'm fully clearing T16 maps, sometimes even some Delirium maps, pretty easily, and this build is excellent. The damage is very solid, the survivability is very solid, the single target is it's not incredible, but it is good. It's good enough to do Sirus. I'm pretty sure you could do Maven if you weren't playing in South Africa with 150 ping. I tried, and I died 4 times to rubber banding. So if you are trying this build and maybe you hit a wall with it and you want to know what to do next, then I'm going to go through my current character and show you. I'm also going to show you a Sirus Kill and tanking a die beam, but my computer decided to record in about 2 FPS, so that's going to be choppy and ugly. So having a look at the build, a few things have changed, a few things are the same. We're still using Cold Iron Point. We're still using Crown of the Inward Eye. The armor is pretty much the same. It's just life and resistances. The amulet, pretty much the same. Life resistances, rings, life resistance, life resistance. Gloves, you know what? I don't think I've actually changed a whole lot in this build. I think it's pretty much the same, and it's still doing great. I've got this belt, which gives a ton of life, which is really nice. As for the flasks, it's also pretty similar. I've got a Panic Divine Life Flask of Staunching, Witchfire Brew, Roomies, Quicksilver Flask, and then a Surgeon's Quartz Flask of Heat. This is very important, what I'm about to tell you. If you fight a boss like Sirus, Maven, or any big boss, swap out this for another Life Flask. And the reason for that is this build primarily sustains based on kill because of the Ascendancy, Patient Reaper. So as you kill stuff, you're just recovering life. But the moment you've just got one target like Sirus, then you're going to start to struggle. So I always equip a second life flask just so I don't run out and die. But otherwise, it's just going to be this for general mapping. Now, having a look at the tree, and I have experimented with very many different versions of this build. I've gone for a kind of full greed DPS version, which is very squishy, but the DPS is really good. I've gone for a very defensive version that uses a shield, and what I've eventually settled on is a hybrid that is pretty well balanced. It's got very solid DPS and it's got very solid survivability. So that's what we're looking at now. This probably looks very similar, except one of the major changes is that down here, I've actually picked up Glancing Blows. Now, this was a remnant of when I was experimenting with the shield version, but I noticed that while dual wielding, you can see my block chance is 36%. Here it's 72%. Whether or not you want to do this, that's up to you. I feel like it does help. However, maybe you want to just get rid of the block, and if you do, maybe you could path down to phase acrobatics and acrobatics instead, but for some reason, this just feels better to me. I'm not usually a player who plays with Glancing Blows or block, but this is kind of what I've settled on. Let's just have a look at the defensive version. So the defensive version, pretty similar. You've got Glancing Blows, but you're also picking up Sanctuary over here. And then Arcane Swiftness to the right. And then you've still got this Cluster Jewel. If you want to go like ultra defensive with crap DPS, you could probably go like this and then come down to the block nodes down here. And I don't know, something like this. Just get poop loads of life and equip a shield. And your damage is going to be cut in half, but you're probably not going to ever die if you do this. So that's the defensive version. Then the absolute cheeseball softcore, I don't give a crap if I die version has just got a second set of cluster jewels. Let me just re-equip the Cold Iron Point. And yeah, the damage is higher. I have tried this version and it's so squishy, especially on low life. And this is another thing that has changed quite significantly from the previous version, is that we are using Petrified Blood so that we can go on low life, and we are going on low life so we can use Pain Attunement. Now you see the damage, this is with the full DPS version, is 4.5 million. Take that off, it's 3.5 million. So this is about a 30% increase of damage. So that's why we are using low life. Now in game, I will show you how I've been playing this, but I'm not always running Petrified Blood. So when it comes to just general mapping, I don't want to die all the time. Petrified Blood does help to keep you alive, but of course there are sort of spiky damage things that are just going to come out of nowhere and pop you. So turning off Petrified Blood just means that you have more life and you're still able to kill stuff. So the way I think about it is when I am fighting a boss, I will put on Petrified Blood because, let's see, DPS is 124. Obviously, tooltip DPS is not very good, but you can see it's a pretty significant DPS increase. And sort of the way I see it is, if I'm going to get blasted by something that's going to one-shot me anyway, I mean, the difference between 7,000 life, well, 7,000 combined life and ES and what's this, like 4,000, 4,500? I'm probably still going to get one shot. So I'll rather just take the extra damage and put this on. But it's very nice, and I think that is a nice little change. You can, of course, just leave Pain Attunement on all the time, but if you do feel like you're dying a bit, especially while mapping, then just switch that off and you'll survive more. So as you can see, this build has got about 7,000 combined life and ES. It has pretty decent dodge. Well, 10% dodge, yay. And then the block chance with roomies is 7214. So it is a very, very defensive build, but at the same time, it has very solid DPS. Also, while we're here, I have provided a stupid god tier level of gear with just stupid stuff that, especially since Harvest is not in the game anymore, you're never going to get these items, but just to show that it has a crazy amount of scaling potential. Okay, so let's just run a bit of a map and I'll talk about what I'm doing and how I'm playing. First thing you want to do when entering a map is turn on Corrupting Fever. This will recast as you cast Exsanguinate. So you just cast it once at the start of the map, then you run. And as you can see, I do not have Petrified Blood active because I don't need it. As you can see, everything is dying. This is a T16 map, by the way. I don't need that extra damage at all. Also, hopefully the recording is not choppy as hell. I'm just running and dodging and exsanguinating and dodging. And as you can see, when there are big swarmy groups of things, I'm dropping my Void Sphere, which kind of sucks them while simultaneously cursing them with vulnerability. That's just it's like a utility defensive offensive layer. It's a super nice skill. So and the chain, of course, just makes it so that this is spreading like crazy. You hit one little Exsanguinate, it spreads out through the entire pack of mobs. Everything dies. Whoa. Do we do the trial? Alright, let's do the trial. Shut up, don't tell them.
Up you go, little night's madness strains away all.
We'll do it.
Can you feel death coiling around your heart?
Another thing I should add while we're here, this is a bit weird, but make sure to have your chaos resistance capped on this build, which if you're in Trade League will not be too hard, But especially with low life, like if I turn on low life there, you can see that's why I don't turn it on while mapping, because I was clearing fine. I didn't need it on, it just made me squishy. But the chaos resistance will help you when you are on low life, because things like ignite and other damage over time things are really, those are the kinds of things that are going to kill you. And if your chaos res isn't capped and you've got yourself on low life with Petrified Blood, the first thing that hits you is going to be just completely deadly. So another reason why I keep it off. Alright, so when you find the boss, I will quickly swap out my chain for a swift affliction.
No more worthy beasts nearby. So
Shut the f*** up, Einhar.
Okay, thanks, Einhar. So as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by Einhar, when I do a boss, I swap out chain for swift affliction, which increases the damage for single target quite significantly. And again, when I feel like a bit scared and I kind of got on low life, well, low life, I turn off Petrified Blood because I'm like, I'm doing enough damage. I'll rather stay alive. Then I turn it off, kill him. But I mean, you saw that was a pretty damn fast boss kill. I believe that is going to be it for this video. So, in closing, I feel like if you're just a sort of casual player who wants to do most of the content in the game, this version that I am playing right now is the best. You can find that in the POB under tree balanced. If, however, you are someone who primarily maps and you want to stay alive and level up and you don't care about killing bosses like Sirus or Maven, play the defensive version. This has got excellent damage for clear. This will tear through T16 mobs very easily. And you have the added bonus of being just super defensive. However, if you want to go full softcore and you don't care about dying, you can try this. I promise you, you will die much more often compared to the other versions. But yeah, balanced is balanced. I like it. I think it's the best. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below or join on Discord and ask me, PM me. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. And if you try this build, let me know what you think. I think it's a damn good one. And I'm very happy that it worked out. Bye-bye, everyone.
Divine power! Divine power! It's branching, exile. You're making me nervous.